Some mornings your arm is still warm from sleep when you put the cuff on, and the number that appears feels so wrong that you almost want to measure again just to prove the machine is lying. That tiny moment of confusion, that quiet breath you hold before pressing the button again. Many people know that feeling, but rarely admit it out loud. And the truth is, that strange jump on the screen often has nothing to do with your heart at all. It comes from one tiny mistake almost everyone makes without realizing it. Let me explain it simply. Blood pressure changes fast, almost like the way your voice changes when you answer a call from someone you like. One small shift in your body can push the reading up or down. Doctors who measure people every day often notice patterns that surprise them. A slightly tense hand, a shoulder raised just a little, a person sitting crooked in their chair. These tiny things can change the number more than people expect. One of my patients laughed and said her blood pressure acts shy and refuses to show its real face unless she sits like a statue. The most common problem happens before the measurement even starts. When you sit down too quickly, when your arm is unsupported, when your feet aren't flat on the ground, your body reacts instantly. Your muscles tighten just enough to squeeze your arteries. Some studies describe it as a small, automatic stress signal, the kind you don't feel, but your circulation definitely does. The cuff simply reports what your body is doing in that moment, not what your true baseline really is. There is something gentle you can try that changes everything. Before you even lift your arm, let your shoulders fall naturally. Let the air leave your chest in one slow exhale. Place your arm on a table so the cuff is at the same height as your heart. Just this small pause lets your vessels settle back into their calm rhythm. It's almost like telling your body, okay, let's be honest now. When people try it, the difference is often so immediate that they measure twice just to make sure the machine isn't playing tricks. If your mornings often surprise you with numbers that don't make sense, stay with me a little longer. There's more you can do to bring those readings closer to how your heart actually feels. Sometimes the truth shows up in the quietest moments. I remember watching someone take their blood pressure in a waiting room once. They sat down, legs crossed, phone in one hand, rushing through a message while the cuff squeezed tighter. When the number flashed on the screen, their whole face dropped. But nothing in that room was calm enough for the reading to be real. It was like trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a crowded market. Your body reacts to tiny things you barely notice. If your feet hover instead of resting on the floor, your lower body tenses. If your back isn't supported, your core muscles tighten without you feeling it. Even holding a conversation can push your pressure higher because your breathing changes without permission. Some experts compare it to lifting a grocery bag without realizing you're clenching your jaw at the same time. And honestly, it does feel a bit like that. One of my patients once told me he always measured while standing in the kitchen because he didn't want to sit twice in the morning. That explains why his readings jumped around like a nervous squirrel. Your body needs a moment to settle, the same way a lake needs a moment for the ripples to fade before you can see your reflection. You can try something gentle next time. Let your feet rest solidly on the floor. Give your back something soft to lean on. Keep your arm supported so your shoulder isn't doing the heavy lifting. Just that small change makes your blood vessels relax instead of bracing themselves. Studies show that when people slow down just a little before pressing the start button, their numbers become far more consistent. Some notice the reading drop by several points simply because their breathing got quieter. Your body loves routines that feel safe. It settles into them quickly, almost gratefully. And here's the funny part. One man told me his cuff behaves better when he talks nicely to it. I'm not saying you need to sweet talk your monitor, but hey, if it works for him, who am I to argue? When your body feels supported, your numbers finally tell the truth instead of reflecting a moment of tension. And that honesty is what helps you understand what your heart actually needs. Sometimes the most important changes begin in the space between two breaths. When people finally learn to take their blood pressure the right way, something unexpected happens. They stop fighting the number on the screen and start listening to what their body has been whispering for years. It's almost like the moment after a storm, when everything feels still and honest again. Your heart loves that kind of quiet clarity. It works better in it. It heals in it. What many people don't realize is how quickly the body responds to tiny acts of kindness. The difference between a tense reading and a true one can be just a few seconds of soft settling. I've watched people go from panic to relief just by letting their shoulders melt down and allowing their breath to fall into its natural rhythm. The heart isn't an enemy. It's more like a loyal friend who speaks in small signals instead of loud warnings. You might notice something else too. The more gently you approach the moment, the calmer your whole morning becomes. One woman told me she now treats her blood pressure routine like a pause before life starts. She joked that it's the only time of day when nobody talks to her. And honestly, if that's not motivation, I don't know what is. Here's something you can do that often makes the numbers settle into their real shape. Before you press the button, place your free hand on your stomach for a moment. Feel it rise and fall once or twice. That tiny contact reminds your body that it's safe. You don't have to force anything. Your pulse softens on its own. Your heart carries all the moments you thought you handled alone. Every late night, every worry you pushed down, every early morning when you kept going anyway. It deserves care that feels steady, not rushed. Care that lets it come back into balance instead of fighting the world at full speed. Take a moment to honor it, to give it space, to trust that with consistency, your numbers will begin to reflect the calmer life you're building one small habit at a time. If this touched you or helped you understand your body a little better, stay close. Subscribe and join me for more gentle, honest conversations about your health.